going live in 9 minutes. This is Stevie Hope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. We will be prioritizing questions from members. If you want to sign up and become a member today, go to youtube.com/myamazonguy and hit the join button. podcast starting today in 2 minutes. Feel free to start writing your Amazon questions we'll be prioritizing today. Those questions coming from members. If you want to become a member, go to youtube.com/myamazonguy and hit the join button. Welcome to the My Amazon Guy podcast. This is every Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time when I come in and answer any Amazon FBA question. I'm your host. My name is Stephen Pope, and I'm excited to talk to you today. We'll do a couple of quick updates and start diving in and answering any of your questions. As a note, we will be prioritizing questions coming from members. Sierra, who's my assistant, will be trying to help navigate through member questions. So if you want your question prioritized, feel free to do that. Sometime in the next month or two, we're going to get to the point where we cannot get to every question, which is why we had to make that change. Thank you for all of your support. So let's go first over to a couple of updates I wanted to share. So my social distancing wine glass still banned from advertising. What we did yesterday was we redesigned the entire page. So I switched out every single secondary image. We removed all references to my own brand name Momster on the listing, except the brand attribute. Still have it mentioned there, but we removed all of the references there. And we're starting to wonder if my brand name Momster is part of the problem and why they won't unban it, because they say it's promoting alcohol for mothers. So that's an interesting, weird thing we're trying to figure out. So we redesigned the entire listing, A+ content, soup to nuts, all copy, trying to figure it out. Here you can see the ineligible ban images that depict, glorify, or encourage consumption of alcohol not allowed. Content that may glorify or encourage the consumption of alcohol is not allowed. So we're trying to avoid any glorification whatsoever. So kind of curiosity update. Post Mother's Day, we did fantastic with our Mother's Day kit with Age of Sage. Sold more than $125,000 with this kit in less than 10 days. Very, very pleased with those results. Made it into the top 10 skincare sets. Top 1,000 in all of beauty. So some fantastic results with that. Very excited about that. Other products in the pipeline, our reviews are starting to come in, and we're finally stocked at FBA without worrying about those pesky restock limits. So those are a couple of the updates. Last one, we do have another coach added to our coaching page. We've added Jason. So if you're a Vendor Central, a couple of people are Vendor Central. If you need to talk to anybody Vendor Central wise, we've got Jason on staff. He can help you out with that. As well as any other strategy or content needs. If you need a coach, head over to myamazonguy.com, click on book a coaching call. All right, let's go to some of your questions today. We've got a couple of new members joining in today. I appreciate Daniel becoming a member, as well as Mahmoud, excuse me. And thank you guys for supporting the channel. Really appreciate it. All right, Sierra, go ahead and help us navigate through all of our member questions first. So do plurals matter in PPC targeting search terms? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. If you do a broad match with your advertising, it will take all of the iterations, singular, plural, and close match type words to the meaning, the synonym, if you will. So broad match will have you covered on plurals most of the time. There probably are some exceptions to this. Some words that may not be associated plural in the system, for example, Amazon system is not entirely perfect. So when in doubt, I run multiple segmentation campaigns, do some broad match, do some phrase, do some exact, mix it up, and then let the data judge itself, right? Sometimes the broad match outperforms the exact match and it throws people off. And they're like, how is this? And it's because Amazon gives it a little bit lower cost sometimes. All right, let's go to the next one, Sierra. Can I put a competitor's multi-words brand name in the back-end search terms, but placed separately with no risk? Great question. I would say you probably can get away with it. There are now tools like ZonGuru that can see the back-end search terms of a listing. So as long as the phrases are separated, you're probably going to get away with it. But if it's like a misspelling of a brand name and they have a trademark on a single word, that's too risky. I wouldn't do that. Idon says, hi, Stephen, is there an order of importance of keywords in the title? No longer the case from an SEO standpoint. From a conversion standpoint, I think there probably is still some value, but from an SEO standpoint, the A9 update made it so that the order of the keywords no longer has an impact. However, there are some factors to keep in mind. If you put a hyphen after the first 5 words, then you will set the canonical URL in Google. So sometimes the first 5 words have massive impact. So put your best 5 words in the front. I do, in some categories, try and get away with not having the brand name in the first 5 words, but that is technically a requirement. But if you go look at my Age of Sage product, so I redid the title on Monday, post Mother's Day, and I call it now the Mom Gift Box Spa Sets. And if you look in the URL at the top here, see how the canonical URL is set exactly like that, Mom Gift Box Spa Set. That's because those are the phrases that I felt like were the most important to chase, and that's why it's in my canonical URL. So that's kind of the importance there. You also ask, I want to know if I should have a differentiators in the middle of the title or have them at the end where it's less visible. So differentiators, if you mean variation, like color, size, I would put those at the very end, very far right, and usually within parentheses. If you're saying like features, I would put those in the middle for sure. Mohammed says, my product is 100 relevant with 1 golden word. If I create a PPC campaign up and down in broad match, do I have to do exact match as I can target all keywords in phrase type with that golden word? I would do all of the above and let the data tell you. If you test it yourself, you're going to see differing results between the broad match, the phrase, and the exact. I would set up 3 separate campaigns, dedicated budget to each of them, and see which one does best. The other thing is on the broad match campaign, you're most likely going to need to add some negations, whereas on the exact match, you won't. So the exact match should be like set up one and done, maybe adjust the bid here and there, but will be very easy to maintain. The broad match will need some tailoring. We'll need some negations. I did a video, I believe it was on Monday, where I talk about the PPC hack for keyword isolation. That is a great video to watch. I'll put that in the chat here. So keyword isolation. So you may want to check that one out, Mom, and that might give you some further advice on that question. Matt, thanks for being a member. I have a product that used to be under a parent, and now the title is stuck on the old parent title, and I cannot edit manually or via a partial update. How do I get the title changed? So is the original parent SKU deleted? And if so, this would be very unusual of a situation for the parent to override if the parent doesn't exist anymore. So first thing I would do is check to see if the original parent is deleted. If not, you may want to delete it. If it is deleted and the title is still stuck, most likely a brand registry ticket is your best ticket to get that solved. And this is not solvable by a partial update. You'll probably need to do a full template update. So do a catalog export of all of the data and then re-import via full update. That way you're not losing any data. Give that a whirl, Matt. Let me know how that goes. Cupcake Sprinkles, also a member. Thank you for being a member. All about keywords. Is there any way to see the metadata keywords behind competitors' A+ images? Yes, I will demonstrate that. So let's take a look here on my Age of Sage product. So if you scroll down to any of my photos right here, and you right click and hit inspect, you can see this on the public code of the page in the image alt text right here. So my keywords are spa, essential kit, spa basket, her scented essential oil, body salt, essential lavender oil. Now notice I did break some of my SEO search term rules where I've got essential twice, spa twice. The search term field, you don't want to have any duplicate words, but in the alt text, sometimes I go for exact match. I have a little bit better luck going exact match in the alt text for whatever reason. Amazon again claims publicly, we do not index alt plus or any A+ content, but we know they do. We've tested this repeatedly where we'll put Spanish behind one alt text photo and it ranks for Spanish. Here's my Cerebro rankings. I'm now at 2,900 keywords. I want to say a week ago I was at like 2,200, so it continues to rise. And this product is not even a month old. For us to rank for almost 3,000 indexed keywords this quickly is phenomenal. And if you want to look at some Spanish, here's proof that I was able to rank it for Spanish. Show phrases that include madre, which is Spanish for mother. And here you go, I'm indexed. Now, I'm not ranking terribly amazingly for them, but the fact that I'm indexed in the top 30 or 40 for Spanish and I don't have any front-facing Spanish copy proves that if you put Spanish in the search terms and in the alt text, it totally ranks. You also asked about the pink word optimizations. So I would recommend to follow those in the second phase of SEO. So in phase one, do all of the duplicate titles into the search term field. We find that it ranks faster and indexes for more keywords by doing this. Once you index for 1,000 keywords though, go ahead and run the pink word update, or the second phase of SEO as we've dubbed it at My Amazon Guide, and remove any words from the title out of the search term field. And you can easily gauge this by looking at the pink words in the Seller Central Optimizer tool. We have extensive video content surrounding these subjects. Feel free to check out those videos after today's podcast. I also have a 4-part series. Sierra, can you put the link into the playlist, to our SEO playlist? Some of the best SEO content on the earth about Amazon is in that playlist. The 4-part series we did with Ad Badger is some of the best content I've ever put out. And you will love that series if you haven't watched that. Anybody that wants to learn more about SEO should watch that series. And I think that is, do backend keywords need pluralization? No, they do not. But sometimes I will rotate them around to test it. So even though I'm pretty confident it doesn't, I still kind of test things from time to time because things could change. You never know. Idon, thanks for being a member. I sell only in the US, but lately I saw that some of my offers products in Canada and the Mexican market for 3 times the price. What is the risk for me, and what should I do about it? So from a sales standpoint, there's no impact to your US sales velocities, but there is some high risk to allowing this to continue. Sierra, please link the Canadian trademark video I did about 2 weeks ago. Idon, you need to watch that video. So in that video, I talk about how you need to get a Canadian trademark to kick these hijackers off. And it's extremely important that you do this because Amazon is parsing the data and it could affect your US listings. If somebody in Canada makes a parentage with your own products, then it could affect your US parentage, could affect your review count sharing or other data and attributes. I think the risk of the hijackers is not from them selling your products. I think it's in the data manipulation, and that's a problem. So I do recommend taking them off. I was so astonished that I had 5 different hijackers in Canada on my own listings, and I barely pay attention to Canada. I barely do any work there or research for my own brand, Monster. And so when I went and did that, I was really astonished by how many of them were present. And I started receiving negative product reviews because of the hijacked listings coming out of China. So they were remaking and recreating some of my products with inferior product and totally shipping them out of China. So I sent them cease and desist. Some of them went down on the cease and desist. And then I filed the Canadian trademark, and within 24 hours of filing that, I got them all taken down. There are some really interesting techniques you need to be aware of when you're trying to remove hijackers. So definitely recommend watching that video. All right, let's go to the next question. Mama says, in my Seller Central ASIN, in the subject matter field, it says not currently used in home. Does that mean we can leave that field blank if we're in the home category? No indexing or SB matters. You are correct. It no longer matters in the home category. I think Amazon had that out for a year or two, and they tested it out to see what would happen. No impact anymore. Go ahead and move it. You can ignore it safely. Dr. Kaz, welcome back. I think you got a new profile pic. Also, thank you for being a member. Hi, Pope. I hear you mention you report listing anomalies of your competitors sometimes when Amazon informs them. Do they disclose your name? They do not. It is completely safe to report competitors' listings. And be a good human, right? Like, don't just try and take out your competition because you hate them. But if they're violating Amazon's policies, hold them to that line, right? Because we all play by the same playbook, and it's not fair for them to get away with something that you can't get away with. So go ahead and report them, and do it rightfully though. Don't just do it to stiff them. But yeah, they don't reveal your name at all. Safe to do, Dr. Koss. Idon says, I'm curious if the average Amazon customer who uses the app clicks on the listings photos for better quality or just scrolls to the right. Tough to say on this one. What Amazon has started to do, though, with the mobile stuff is to make it so that the secondary images automatically display underneath the detail page, and it's kind of a different view. I might be able to demonstrate this. Let me see if I can. Let's see, my screen share not working at the moment. That's weird. Let's try that again. Sharing screen. All right, there we go. So in here, if we go into the Chrome dropdown, you can switch it over to mobile view. I'm trying to remember how to do that off the top of my head. Developer tools, maybe. Kind of, yeah, I think that was it. And then in here, toggle over to, I'm trying to remember which button to click here. It's been a while since I've done this. Console. Well, I'm going to fudge through this not as fast as I was hoping I could remember how to do it. But in here, you can switch to mobile view and like see how it looks. I may Google that and try and figure that one out. Maybe I'll do a video on that one, how to like look at your page from a mobile view. And then as you like scroll down on it, you'll see the actual secondary images show up. It's kind of interesting. So, if you're curious what your listings look like and how somebody would look at them, check it out on your own mobile phone, test it out. Dr. Koss says, on some of my listings, when I edit the description, it does not update. I'm the only seller, brand registered. Why does the system get tripped up? The Amazon catalog team keeps multiple versions of your page. At the very top of the pyramid is the catalog team. So sometimes the catalog team will come in and lock your listing. If that happens to you, the only way to get it updated is through a ticket. Underneath that is the brand registered seller. Underneath that is the seller contribution. Whoever lists the item first is generally the seller contribution. And then sellers that have more sales also have a higher say. And then following that is every other seller and their docs. And so if your listing is locked, brand registry tickets are usually the best technique to get those fixed. I highly recommend you check out and try a brand registry ticket, Dr. Koss. SC Trojan Baller, thanks for being a member. I am down to 18 units and raised the price to a point it wouldn't sell without PPC. Should I run PPC to sell all of them? Next shipment of inventory is at least 2 months away. So this is a margin question and a sales velocity question. On the left hand, you've got friction from conversion, and on the right hand, you've got friction from traffic. And sometimes you have to have a consolidation between margin and profit. Right? So all of these things kind of amorphous together, and that's going to create your objective and goal. So if your goal is to increase your velocities, then you are going to go for as high of a traffic and conversion as possible. That means your margin may take a hit temporarily. So with 18 units left, I would say the impact in this scenario is minimal with 2 months to go. Whether you use PPC or not will probably have no long-term effect upon this listing, because there's so few units remaining. It's not going to be consequential. So I would say lower your PPC, don't turn it off, but keep it to bare minimum. Dr. Cos, hey Pope, I think your mic is messed up, not as clear as other sessions. All right, let's see if it's all firm here. Sierra, how am I coming in though? Is it coming in okay? Give me a thumbs up. All right, so sorry about that, Dr. Cos. Let me know if that tweak I just did made it sound better or not. Cupcake Sprinkles. Competitor ASIN has almost no copy, but is indexing for thousands of organic keywords on Helium-10. They are going big on PPC. Does this compute? Can you explain? Yeah, so you can totally index from PPC keywords. The product that I have with the social distancing wine glass, this is a case study on how PPC, without PPC, the indexing just completely fell off a cliff for me on this product, right? My rankings diminished 40%. And I was ranked #1 for the term wine glass. So PPC has a massive impact on SEO. Most people underrate it. However, it's supposedly, as of the A9 update, only affects about 6% compared to all of the other factors. So yes, your competitor can compete with just PPC, but they're probably paying through the nose on it. So they're very, very competitive if they're trying to do that. Mohammed says, if we have a US trademark, how much will it cost for the Canadian one? We sell them at my Amazon guy for $850, and we get them done in the same amount of time period. You can go over to myamazonguy.com, go to services, put your cursor over trademarks, and go to Canada trademark. And in here, $850 files with a CIPO. Within 1 business day, you'll have your serial number. You can immediately start filing tickets to get the hijackers taken down. Just to set expectations, not every ticket works, but eventually you'll get 100% of them taken down. Highly confident in it. That's why we started offering the service. And definitely check out that Canadian video. It'd be very, very helpful for you. David Scott asks, question, listings suck. I have many products to add, but lack of motivation to add them. If I just rush it to get them up and launch, can I go back later to improve it? Or is this a bad idea? This is a variable question. So if you have 100 SKUs and the difference on this is that you're going to get to 5 a week or you're going to get to 100 in a week, but you're going to have the products already on hand regardless, I would say rush and get them all up. However, there is a honeymoon period. And so if you have unique products, so if you're selling just random stuff on my desk here, if you got like a lighter for a candle, you got a wine glass, and if you got nail clippers, right? These are all very unique products with their own strategies needed. You're gonna need to set up PPC. You need to get A+ content up. You gotta do a ton of stuff, right? It's overwhelming. But at the same time, if you aren't going to make money selling those items without being listed, it may make sense to just get the bare minimum up and get them going. It really depends on your niche, your category, whether you're doing parentages, variations, a lot of different scenarios. What I would suggest you do, David, is create a generic category-wide A+ content and get everything listed and do some generic bullets. Just get them up that way. The secondary images are probably the most important thing you do spend time on, and that's where I would go ahead and put some extra effort there. When in doubt, make sure you have a picture of a human in your secondary images. The lack of photography with humans in them, I have a little hiccup here, sorry, can be effective on your conversion rate. So keep that in mind. Imagery, most important thing you can do when first launching the product. A+ content will help you index. So it just really depends, David, like how big of a company you have. Maybe you should just hire somebody to help you with this, maybe a virtual assistant, maybe go full service with my Amazon guy to knock it all out for 3 months. Just depends on like where your sales velocity targets are. Happy Friday to you too, DK Kim. My item is giftable and the package box is made nicely. How do you prevent Amazon from just slapping a label directly on my retail package and sending it without any outer box? You can't. Amazon does whatever the heck it wants, and it's really unfortunate. Maybe one thing you could do is like put a little wrapping, like a clear plastic bag over the top of the box. Not ideal, but that might be one way to do it. And one of the most frustrating experiences I've ever had was when I was selling my hot sauce right here. Lisa, thank you for the tip. I appreciate it. We'll make sure we get Lisa's questions next. So with this hot sauce right here, I shipped these in and paid Amazon to do the prep work, to do the bubble wrap. And you know what they did? They shipped out my 5-pound hot sauce bottles in bubble wrap inside of a bubble envelope, and all of them broke. So there is no logic behind Amazon's facilities. Unfortunately, there's not much you can do with that scenario. So what I recommend you do, I'm going to grab my Age of Sage box. All right, here we go. So this is my Age of Sage box right here. And what we did with this is try to give it a 6-foot drop test. And if it passes that, you're in good shape, right? So nice packaging on the outside here, nice brand with Age of Sage. I'm gonna open it up and show you guys. So in here, it's impossible to break anything in here. We have a ton of product in there, really nice scents and everything else. And I may not be doing this much justice trying to show this off, but long story short, if you pack it really well and you make an insert, the item will arrive just fine. And so if you're worried if Amazon's going to slap like a product label over the top of the brand on the packaging, unfortunately, nothing you can do about that. Lisa says, hi, Steve, love these Q&As. I was just going to call your team. I delayed my launch date and Amazon put my inventory stranded to remove auto in 14 days. Why is that? Solved with Seller Central 30-day removal. So you can delay the auto removal, and I highly recommend you do, so you can get that stranded item fixed. Now, depending on what happened, there's a lot of different events that can occur with a stranding. So in one scenario, you might have a category gating issue that you have to clear to get everything unstranded. So if you're in topicals, for example, supplements need a COA document. There could be a trademark infringement. There are so many different scenarios. That one might be worth jumping on a coaching call, Lisa, with us, so we can go in there and just like dive in and figure out, try and get these fixed for you. But basically, stranded inventory, if it's bugging out and it's not like a document issue, you're going to need to do some tickets. You're going to need to do some template uploads. You're going to need to do some button clicks inside of the stranded inventory. A lot of different troubleshooting techniques. You know, usually like a non-document type issue can be fixed within 24 hours. If they require documentation or there's like a customer NCX complaint, might be 3 or 5 days. And so you do want to try and avoid them from removing your inventory out of FBA, because if it gets removed, then obviously your launch is toast. And then you're paying removal fees on top of that. And then you just wait, your inventory just gets held up, and you know, you're shipping it multiple times, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a lot of hassle. So that is a very critical issue. I highly recommend you get some expertise to look at those and get those fixed rapidly, because that could be a major business event. Dr. Kaz says, hey, Pope, my brand is maturing, going for 4 years now. I'm launching a merch line for my customers, caps, knives, pens, beer, mugs, etc. What are your thoughts, if any, merch for brands? So these are add-on items that are probably not going to be self-sufficient on their own, most likely, but they make great swag. So if you start adding in random gadgets and gadgets and whatnot into your box as value add additions, especially from somebody that maybe orders a fulfilled by merchant order, where you're adding in additional items with your swag, you're going to create lifelong customers, right? Those swag items, you know, don't necessarily get purchased by themselves very often. Now, the exception might be a nice little t-shirt like this. And since we're talking t-shirts, why don't we go ahead and say, everybody, Sierra, what's the hashtag we're going with today? Is it mag? I think it's mag shirt, right? Give me a thumbs up if that's right. Yeah, okay. So comment mag shirt for a chance to win a free My Amazon Guy t-shirt. We do ship these worldwide. Anybody who wants to participate in this can do so. And that means, yep, I'm paying the $30 in shipping to ship it over to Pakistan, whatever, no problem. We like worldwide fans here. So if you want to enter that, hashtag mag shirts, we'll give you a free t-shirt today. We'll do that every Friday. So be sure to tune in live if you want to participate to be one of those winners. So with that in mind, I think that it's possible to sell swag. Like you could even like put your stuff on a bottle opener, and there's a lot of different ways you can do that. So here's a bottle opener, and I don't think you can't see it very well, but you can see like a brand name up there. So there's a lot of different swag you could do, but it's expensive to personalize swag. Like it cost me like $12 a t-shirt to make them. And so it just really depends on like what your objective is, but I would say go for it and open up a swag shop. Your cult following members, people that are super loyalists to your brand, are going to buy it. But everybody else, you're going to have to give it away. So it's probably not going to be a moneymaker, most likely. Any thoughts on the new Amazon shipment creation flow? Help me, Pope. I need more patience to adjust. So they keep mucking with our shipping, don't they? I've asked Jason on my team to create a shipping video over the weekends to go over this. I have not personally gone through the motions of the new shipping modules yet. And so that's why I was asking for support from Jason to kind of test it out for me. But by and large, I think that the most unchanging thing about Amazon is the amount of changes we go through, right? Like the new UI is terrible, right? Like why would they develop a UI that does what it does? I don't know the answer to that question. So like they made it so if we were going to look at the old UI versus new UI, so let me see if I can pull up something on my screen here. So here is the old UI. Up at the top here, you can scroll through and see all of these buttons. Then when we flip over to the new UI, and I may not even know how to flip to the new UI. Let's see if I can find it here. Use new navigation. So let's click on that button here. And then they get rid of all of the nice buttons at the top, and they put it in this like little tiny hamburger up there, and then you have to go over here and click on the drop down. So it's like a mobile friendly desktop version. It just makes zero sense. And so the shipping modules and whatnot, they're trying to probably patch some of the problems they've had with people getting around the shipping restrictions. And so that's probably why they rolled out the new dash. But I totally like the old dashboard better, and I plan on using the old one. So that's just me. But let's go to Mohammed says, for a new product launch, what are some best strategies, except PPC, to do which are effective nowadays? Giveaway, SFB, that's search find by, ManyChat, rebate key, Google ads, etc. Honestly, Amazon ads are the #1 way to do it. I spent $7,000 on Age of Sage ads and generated $125,000 in total revenue. My ACoS was above 90% on that $7,000, but it allowed me to generate 100K in organic sales with a great turnaround on tacos, right? So it's really important to keep in mind that your PPC has immediate impact to your overall velocity growth. I'm not a fan of giveaways. I think SFB has risks now. ManyChat, I think, diminished in value since January of last year. Rebate key, I think, is awful. I think that any of those programs potentially can have short-term value, but long-term risk. So the more mature your brand is, the more likely you shouldn't touch any of those. If you're a new brand and you have nothing to lose, okay, maybe take a little bit of a chance, try it out. But long-term brands, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't touch it at all because it could affect your account from getting suspended. Last week, we heard news, some major Chinese sellers were in this giant ring of creating fake reviews, and they all lost their accounts, like 100%, everything, poof, gone. You don't want to end up with that. Amazon does not like gaming of their search algorithm. They're smart enough to figure these things out. There's usually not a lot of public intel on it, and then all of a sudden, one day, boom, everybody's banned. Search Find Buy back in September had some major hits on people losing keyword rankings because they gamed it through Search Find Buy. So if you are going to proceed with these things, do them in small amounts, like do 5 total Search Find Buys, but like don't invest heavily into these things. Don't do product inserts that ask for reviews. These are all things that are very, very volatile, and I don't recommend you do them. Cupcake Sprinkle says, supplements COAs. We were complying, had some COAs accepted about 2 weeks ago. All of our COAs disappeared and all the requests too. Filed case, they said, not to worry. Have you seen this? Yes, unfortunately, we've seen this. I don't know what to say on this topic, though. It's really one of those touch and go situations where Amazon's like, hey, we're got a deadline and it's May 5th, and then we're going to ban every supplement if you don't give us our COAs. Then they push it to June. And there's just a huge backlog on the situation. Very reactive situation, very difficult to be proactive on this question. So I would supply as many of the COAs as you can, upload the documents, even in the sections that are just the PDF loads of the COAs. I would go ahead and do that. But there's almost no proactive measure that will help you sleep easy at night that you can say, yes, Amazon's accepted my documents and I'm good to go. Just doesn't exist. And then one day they're going to suspend your listing and you'll be like, look, I provided this COA 3 months ago. And they're like, well, okay, well, no worries. We'll put you in the back of our queue here and get your listing back online in 14 or 30 days, whatever we feel like. Unfortunately, that is just the nature of supplements right now. Tunanan says, hi, Stephen, after sending my first shipment, how can I estimate the check-in date so I can set up a launch date with no stranded inventory? Any tricks? So stranded inventory is not a problem on a product launch. Don't worry about that at all. What I would do is go ahead. So let's say we were shipping in today. It's May 14th, and I know that it takes 2 weeks on average. So I'm gonna select June 1st for my launch date arbitrarily. Then you go into the more detailed section of your listing, and you select the launch date. Let's see if I can do that on one of my listings here for you. So going into the more detailed section, scroll down. And it is different in some categories. You have to kind of search for it sometimes. So I usually just do Control F launch and find it generally. Launch date, release date, and you can look on the tooltips. This is the date when customers will start viewing the product, and release dates when they can order it. So the release date's the most important, but go ahead and set both of these to a future date, and that's the course of action here. So if you were to create this, put your launch date out to June 1st, your release date out to June 1st. You can always pull it back when FBA is ready, once it's checked in. But that's how you're going to reserve your honeymoon period. And you don't need to worry about stranded inventory on a product launch. It will not cause you a problem at all. The reason for stranded inventory, they said, is my launch delay. So Lisa, go ahead and just set your launch date, go live with it, and you should be fine. I think you'll be okay there. SC Trojan says, I'm selling at 40 bucks, but plan to eventually sell at 35. How do I do that slashed off price or lowest in 30 days tag? Do these help with conversion? They do. A major drop off on price here. So this is a page I loaded before. I lowered my price to $13.99 while on right before it went live. Let me hit refresh. Let's see if I do. So see how I have a strike through here? This strike through exists because it has previously sold at that price. That's why that strike through shows. But until you get to 20%, they're not going to give you like lowest price in 30 days strike through. They're just going to give you a list price strike through. This is all automated. So if we were to divide, let's divide 35 by 40, right? That's a 13% price strike. So you're going to see the same thing that I have here. It's just going to say list price you save. So definitely is worth doing. I wouldn't, if you plan to go to 35, go ahead and go all the way down. When you go up in price, I go slow amounts up, but when I go down, I go heavy down, because the value of going down heavy really quickly is usually more important. And then when you raise the price, that price elasticity, if I can say that word, it needs to be slower. You could even lose your buy box if you go up in price too quickly. But going from 40 down to 35, pretty safe. Go ahead and do it. No problem there. David Scott, can small items 2 inches, such as lapel pins, be shipped to FBA in a bubble bag pouch instead of a flat, small poly bag? This would help protect the bin. Yes, all you got to do is put the FN SKU label on the exterior. They will ship them just like that. However you ship them packaged, as long as they have the FN SKU on the outside exterior of the packaging, you'll be good to go. We also have a video where I go heavily in depth on all things shipping labels. Let's see if I can search my own channel here. So if you go over to my channel and just type in labels, you're going to see some really good videos Did a really deep dive full guide about a month ago on this one. I'll post this into the comment section. Shipping labels. So give that a whirl. Daniel Suez says, hi, everyone. Stephen, thanks for my trademark serial number. You're very welcome. Super fast and easy. I love getting testimonials. Thank you. One step closer to build my brand. Monday, I will apply for brand registry with Amazon. I'm loving this journey. Well, God bless you, sir. Good luck on the journey. Not an easy journey, but it's worth it. Definitely worth it. Jody says, can you get a negative, non-verified review removed? Yes, these are generally the easiest reviews to get removed. I did see your question before we started, and I went ahead and posted a link with a guide on how to remove product reviews. Go check that out here. We talk about all of the different types of reviews, how to remove each. This is an older article for me from 2019, still applicable to get product reviews removed. We have a typical response. Sometimes we have like 2 options to try it, but these are all the T&C review types that you can try and leverage. So if somebody talks about shipping, you can get them removed typically. Unverified review, we're requesting a review made by XX to be removing the following product. We have verified they did not order this product, but instead posted a review. Please remove this review. This is our top easiest review to get removed. Highly recommend trying it and follow this guide. Give that a whirl. Abdallah says, my product is now at Amazon, but my photos not ready. What can I do not to lose my honeymoon period? Set the launch date, just like we talked about a few minutes ago, and don't go live until your photos are ready. Photos are critical to your success. Definitely wait for them. Cupcake Sprinkle says our competition is listing our brand in their backend keywords. So we do the same to them. What I would do is go ahead and report them for trademark infringement. And you can use a tool like SoundGuru to prove it, take a screenshot, show that they're using it, and it will absolutely get taken down. They also list CBD in keywords. We don't. They don't even sell CBD, and we do, but not on Amazon. Is there leverage here? Yes, you can file them for the CBD keywords. Those will absolutely get the listings taken down. High likelihood this is going to work for you. Give it a whirl. By the way, guys, we're coming up on 8,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. Pretty excited about this. We're only need about 80 more. We'll probably have that by the weekend. So our subscriber count is going up. If you like our content today, tell one person about it. Say, hey, have you subscribed to My Amazon Guy yet? They go live every Friday at noon. How do you create a parentage on a new listing? Asked Nylon97. I'm going to have a few colors in my product, so I want to set that up from the start, but don't know how. This is on, like, out of 1 out of 10 problems you could face on Amazon or catalog related. This is a 10 out of 10. Most challenging thing to do is set up parentage. Managing your catalog, very, very challenging. Potential possibilities of problems. You can wipe your catalog data. You can mess it up. Brand attribute questions. Just so many different scenarios that come up with parentages. So proceed with caution. Make sure you use partial update in your template uploads when you're first testing it out. And watch our video on how to set up parentage. We can give coaching on this one. This is not a service. We no longer offer this a la carte anymore. It is such a complicated process. We ended up losing money taking people's parentage problems. So you're going to need some support on this one, most likely. Tunanan says, I watched the video about category listing export. They had it enabled for 7 days. Why don't they enable it permanently? It's strange. I think it's a tax on the system, and that's why they don't enable it permanently. Just request access every 7 days or whenever you need it. It's weird. I don't know why. Brandon says, hi, Stephen. Happy Friday. Been working on a potential product with a supplier in China. We've got the MOQ, that's the minimum order quantity, down from 2K to 1K. What's the best practice to negotiate better pricing? For 1,000 units, don't worry about pricing, not on a first-time order. The Chinese know that there's only a 30% chance you're going to reorder from them. If you negotiate pricing down further, they're just going to skimp on the product quality. I guarantee it. Just eat the pricing on the first one. But if you are going to reorder, that's the time to negotiate. Say, hey, we had great results. We're ready to reorder, but this time we're ready to order 4,000, 5,000. But we need a better rate. What can you do for me? That's when I would negotiate. Get these guys on the phone, have a relationship, make sure you talk to them. It'll pay dividends. William, happy Friday to you as well. In your experience, what's the best time frame to look at when optimizing PPC campaigns? 7-day snapshots generally. The bigger your account, the less time you can look at. You can get it down to 3 days if you got lots of data. But it just depends on the size. So if you sell or if you spend less than 10,000 ad dollars a month, once a week is sufficient. If you're like north of 50,000 a month, like 2 to 3 times is required. Because there's just so many potential data things that can come up. Seasonality can affect this as well. When you get close to holiday events or big Christmas events, Mother's Day, whatever it might be that affects your products, you might want to go daily during the snapshots times of those time frames. But other than that, you can optimize PPC whenever it makes sense, whatever your ACOS targets are, whatever your growth targets are. How often do you want to negate keywords? Probably about once a week. How often do you want to try new keywords? At least once every 2 weeks. Bid optimization is the one that needs to be done the most frequently. Nylon97 says, should you target any exact match keywords for PPC on new listings or only do automatic and a few broads to see what words you'll convert well on? I would do all of the above. When I launch new products, and you've seen me do this with Age of Sage, I did everything. I launched sponsored display ads with terrible results. But I did really well in the sponsored videos. So they did really well for me. Sponsored products, broad, automatic, phrase, exact, all of them. I do them all. The things that I did the worst with on my product was display ads and ASIN targeting. They did terrible. I would say bidding up higher for keywords and search results will be a lot stronger of a result. A lot of experts seem to say like they don't like doing certain setups on product launches. I'm always surprised by that. Like some people are like automatic only and some are like manual only. No, do them all. You don't know. Every product's different. Some like if you've done the same product category before and you're relaunching, maybe run the same playbook, but I don't know, it just changes. I think running the same playbook is the wrong thing to do. Test everything. Idon says, I'm a new seller. My first product is making around 20,000 revenue a month. I'm about to start the 4th month, but has a low profit margin, only about 12 or 14%. Should I let it go and look for a new product? First thing I would do, raise your prices. Should I wait for the extremely high shipping prices to go down, therefore improve my profit margin? I mean, 12 or 14% margin is probably worth retaining it. Once you have a product for 3 months, you've already done all the launch work. You just need to maintain it. So maybe go a little lower on PPC bids and go a little higher on the overall price of the item and just see what happens. Maybe it slows down your velocity, but you get better profit margin. Again, variable question, just depends on what your objectives are. But I definitely would try and launch more products. Always be launching 3 products. 1 out of 3 will fail. 1 will break even, and the 3rd will be the winner. So I always launch in sets of 3. Cool peeps, good to see you again. QQ, with my current SKUs, I'm already exceeding restocking limit. I feel you. I'd like to launch 3 more products in a month. Does that mean I can't launch or just the 200 new item limit? In fact, your storage limits are no longer SKU specific. So if you have restocking limits at this point, you're going to have them on all SKUs, unfortunately. Really troublesome factors. Nothing you can do about this, unfortunately. I've already asked all of the people at Amazon that I know, you cannot increase your restocking limits. It's all algorithmic, manually done. So just be very careful. Maybe do a removal order on something that's overstocked. Maybe try and flash sell, get something out to make room. But the other thing you could do is you can do fulfill by merchant on some of your products and don't overstock them at FBA. It's super weird what's going on with everything that's going on. We got a gasoline shortage in the Southeast. Thanks, Biden, on that one. We have all kinds of shipping restock problems with Amazon. The supply chain is still a giant wreck. People can't find containers in China. Like every scenario known to man, still a problem. So like we're still living every black swan supply chain event right now. So it behooves you to have your own warehouse and protect yourself. Brandon says, follow up to my second account issue. We added our personal names to our business bank statement. What would you recommend doing once we get the statement? We've exceeded our 3 attempts and can't upload. So if this is the account SIV verification step, Brandon, the most common issue generally is the address is not present or matching the account, or the name on the account doesn't match, just like you mentioned here. But a lot of other common problems are the pages aren't all present. So if you've done, let's say it's a bank statement with 4 pages, but the 4th page is blank and you only uploaded 3, that's a problem, right? You need to upload all 4 pages and get them into the system. So highly recommend that you re-upload them via tickets or try to again call in, and they will make exceptions and get that to go through. I think you'll be fine. You just got to reload it and do it correctly. Reread all of the reasons why they rejected it, and then claim that you finally fixed it. You can always hire us to look at the documents with you. We can usually catch things, but physically print out the bank statement, put it against a dark color, and make sure you can see every edge and all pages are uploaded. That's probably a very likely problem you're facing right now. Lucho says, hi, Stephen, restock limit question. Does it include unapproved shipping plans? I had a 500 plan that took me over the limit, deleted and good, then deleted more with no effect. Don't see consistent. The system is totally jacked up, messed up, nothing you can do about it, Lucho. I do believe that if you just keep clicking that button, it will eventually go through, but they may have patched that by now. But I had a lot of success even when I was at my limit, just jamming the button an extra 20 times and it eventually went through. So try that out, see if that works for you, report back, let everybody else know. Sierra, let's do the next question, then let's do the t-shirt winner today. CJ says, I have a private label item, been selling the item COVID related on Amazon since 2018. Listing has over 400 positive reviews. Should I create a new listing or try parentage was broken based on size of variation? I'm trying to understand the question here. Should I create a new listing? So are you trying to relaunch the product? Did you go out of stock? I would keep the old ASIN 100% of the time usually in this situation. I'm not clear on why you're trying to create a new listing. Give me some more intel, I might be able to answer it for you. Let's go to the free t-shirt winner. Sierra, if you want to come on camera and do the wheel, feel free. So let's take out the question.
Yes. Hey guys, good luck to everyone, and we're going to click on the wheel.
You want to take the question off so they can see it? All right, our winner today is Stephen Lawson. So send us an email
Good job.
What's the email address we use? I forgot. Is it
I'll post it in the, I will share it in the chat, and then just email us like a hello, and then we'll give you the instructions of how to get the t-shirt.
Perfect. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations, Stephen.
And thanks, Sierra, for the assist there. All right, let's go to the next question. Kalimba, if customer leaves a negative product review but written as seller feedback, will Amazon remove it? Yes, 100% of the time. If the seller feedback is 100% about a product review, they will remove it. Go ahead and just hit the remove button. It usually goes right through, no problem. And if they don't remove it, just respond to it. And but seller feedback has almost no effect on your account. It's really non-consequential these days. Brandon says, is it possible to open up a case to have Amazon change my second account's business address? We open it up to a virtual office, but thinking that is why they won't allow us to open it up. Yeah, you can definitely change an address. Going to switch to my personal address. Yeah, I think that's totally fine. Just rechange it and re-upload it and try the SIV again. You should be fine, Brandon. This happens all the time. Leonard says, hey, Stephen, are there any new keywords that we should avoid having in our listing? Adults, even if it's not an adult product such as adult shirt. Yes. So it depends on your category. But if you want to avoid adult flags, then avoid the adult language. Nobody goes on Amazon and types adult shirt. They type men's shirt. They type women's shirt. They type kids shirt. They don't type adult. So I think that word doesn't even matter. Go look at the impression counts on some of the product data and use words that show up there and use SEO friendly terminology. That would be my recommendation, Leonard. But there's absolutely a list of keywords that should be avoided. But it's so specific to your category. It just really depends. But like Cupcake Sprinkles earlier was talking about CBD. Like if you put the acronym CBD in any product, it will like get yanked in 24 hours, almost guaranteed these days. Let's go to the next question. Brandon says, can we apply for brand registry while waiting for a second account? Yeah, you can. Whatever email address you use, though, we'll attach it to the Seller Central account. It's usually better to wait to do that until the account is up and running. Use the email address that's the admin on the Seller Central account so that it correctly associates and connects. Really common problem, very tough to resolve. SC Trojan says, do we get penalized if I go out of stock, for example, getting dinged on IPI and hence lower stock limits? Yes, it's minor from an IPI standpoint. That is, there's 4 factors that affect IPI. This is the 4th and final factor, least impactful. So don't worry about it from a restocking standpoint. Worry about it from a keyword ranking standpoint. More damage to your listing will happen from keyword rankings being lost from going out of stock. So depending on how long you're going to be out of stock, you might want to close the listing. If it's more than 2 months, close the listing. If it's just going to be for like 2 weeks, don't worry about it. You can recover that quickly enough. Your Rode mic doesn't sound good as Sierra's headset today. Huh, very odd. Sierra, you said it sounded good though. That's kind of weird. I wonder what's going on today. We'll take a second gander at that. I'm tightening everything up, but sorry about that, guys. Let's go to the next one. Mohammed says, how to beat competitor ranking position in PPC with minimal effective bid spend. You can't. Be more relevant, sell a better product, have a lower price. But right now, the name of the game is PPC spend. You really can't beat somebody without heavy PPC spend unless you have a fantastic product. Take the healthcare exchange that rolled out during Obama's era, right? Like it was a total train wreck. Like people were spending 10 hours trying to get through the healthcare exchange. But the reason people did it is because they didn't have another choice. It was that or no healthcare. So everybody waited in line and did it. But in your case, in your product, everybody on Amazon is making 5-second buying decisions. So you are not going to rank better without high quality products, A+ content, lots of copy, great imagery, and high PPC spend. That is the name of the game. There are no tricks, no hacks, or shortcuts to those positive results. Horse Logic says we ship very few items fulfilled by merchant. Just had our SLR hit 22% due to warehouse staffing changes. Should I be worried? I actually am trying to remember what the LSR acronym stands for. I actually do not remember off the top of my head. So now I'm typing into Amazon to check that out. So late shipment rate. Okay. So late shipment rate, yes. Anything above 4% is a problem. You will likely get some sort of phone call or suspension risk notice. I would recommend that you reach out to Seller Performance proactively and let them know. When they do ask for a plan of action and you tell them we had, COVID or warehouse staffing, they should be accommodating temporarily. But 2 strikes, you'll be in trouble. So be very careful with that. The other thing I'd say is maybe ship a little bit more into FBA and hedge some bets. J20 says, does exact ads campaign help the ranking the same way the automatic campaign does? Yes, I think so. I think any keyword sell, no matter what campaign type it comes from, will affect SEO positively. The auto campaigns are generally chasing the most relevant keywords. The exact match are very manually chosen. So each has its own various strategies and reasons why you would do certain things. But I always recommend running both. The problem with automatic campaigns is you got to negate a ton of keywords. That's the one challenge. Lisa says, love these Q&As. I'm going to call your team and delay my lunch. I think we covered this one already because Lisa gave us a donation today. Jennifer said, I have clients with all natural hand sanitizers being flagged for hazmat. I've submitted SDS sheets. They keep getting rejected. Any thoughts why? Amazon is not telling me why they are being rejected. So what I would do is I would look on Google for hazmat documents and compare and contrast like what's missing and what's present. The other thing, Jennifer, is you could submit a hazmat exemption form and fill in the ingredient lists. Ingredient lists are generally the #1 issue with hazmat clearance. Give that a whirl, report back. Let me know how that works for you. Leonard says, I have a PPC campaign that is set to fixed bid, but for some reason my CPC is below the fixed bid. Any idea what's causing that? That means that nobody is bidding above that rate that you're being paid. Also, Amazon sometimes will discount highly relevant products. And it says you're not getting that much traffic. Could be the impressions are simply not available, or your product is not relevant. Those could be the scenarios. I would run a second campaign with up and down, see if it, and run the same bid up and down, and see if that second campaign gets any different results. If it doesn't, it's not the PPC technique, it's the listing. And you need to go back to the listing and add the copy of the keywords to the listing most likely. Sarah says, hello, quick question about PPC Mastery Summit. Will a replay be available? I believe Kevin Sanderson said there will be. I did send out an email blast. We had 30 people sign up in the first 24 hours, $7 subscription tickets, and there's some great content. I do the most in-depth analysis of my Age of Sage product launch, and I go into actual campaigns and poke around. Definitely worth signing up for. Sierra, can you find the link to, and make sure it's got our affiliate link in it? Post that in the comment section. So if anybody else wants to sign up for the PPC Mastery Summit, yes, replays should be available. I believe Kevin Sanderson confirmed that. Parker Davis says, hey, Steve, how do I convince someone I work with that tacos are more important metric to look at than ACOS? You probably will not win that debate, Parker. But I would say there's so many videos on this subject that it wouldn't be hard to find one. And what I would say, though, is you're probably not going to win by sending them some video links. I would pay for a coaching session and get them on the phone with somebody to answer their questions and explain it. The numerator denominator situation, how the math is run, is usually why people don't understand it. They also frequently don't know that the SEO impact of PPC has a major play. So maybe show them my video on how on my Age of Sage launch, where I spent $7,000 in PPC at a 90% ACOS, but generated $125,000 in revenue. And obviously I couldn't have done that without PPC, right? So high ACOS absolutely can be highly influential, and I still was under a 10% tacos. So I think there's just so many different arguments that can be made, but it sounds like there's going to be a little bit of stubbornness there. I wish you the best of luck on that one, Parker. Sarah says, also, would you please show what you mean by adding alt text to images? Do you mean product images? Nope, I do not. Or is it the A+ images? Yes. Thanks so much for being here. So I'm going to go into my A+ content and I will demonstrate this myself. Oh no, it's in the new UI. Now I have to figure out how to navigate this. Here we go. Let's see. All right, let me share my screen now. Let's see, add to stream. Okay. So in here, let's go into my social distancing A+ content. We literally just redid this yesterday. And if you hit edits on any product, image in here, A+ image that is, hit edits, you can see the keywords are right here. This is the image alt text. You want to try and maximize this as much as possible, and try and maximize that to 100 characters. So I just added the word social in there because I was a little short on the keywords. And this will have an immediate boost on your indexing for your product page. So that's exactly where you go. Go to A+ content, go into edits of the image, and then hit submit at the very end. Next, review, submit, done. And you're good to go. Thomas says, do you have to pay shipment fees when sending out free products via the Amazon Vine program, or does Amazon pay the Vine shipment? I believe you do pay the fees. I actually do not know this one for 100%, but I'm pretty sure you do. So if you normally pay $3.50 to ship it, you're probably still out that fee. Could be wrong on that one. The way that you can find out is go to the transaction detail of the actual report log and look at the Vine product giveaway. It should have a 0 goose egg on revenue, and it may or may not show the fee in the transaction report. That's how you can confirm it one way or another. But my guess, yeah, they charge. Lisa says, my Facebook seller buddy launched with only PPC, performing very high costs, then rank well, had to turn off PPC because going out of stock, was still selling strong. Is that damaging PPC performance? Not at all. Very, very common technique. Go high, go pump it up as much as you can, get strong with some PPC, and then you sell out, that's a good problem to have. So restock it as quickly as you can, but you'll likely be just fine coming right back into stock as quickly as you can. So run heavy PPC, stock out, good problem to have. Thomas says, do you have any update on cross marketplace review sharing? I've heard nothing further. I think you guys are right in the comment section on my videos that they are no longer going to be sharing across marketplaces. I think this could be related to the 2-week ban hammer that we saw go out on the big Chinese sellers hacking the system. I think those two things are directly correlated. Dave says, do you know how the late inventory limits are calculated? I have not calculated or cracked the formula on this, but generally speaking, we know that the turn rate is the most important factor. We know that the faster your inventory turns, the higher your restock limit will be. So if you have inventory sitting there for 3, 4, 5 months, they're dinging you hardcore. If you have inventory that is stranded, that's a ding. If you have things going out of stock, they're probably not going to ding you as much for that. But turn rates are definitely the factor. I don't know the exact math or science. I don't think even Amazon knows its own exact math or science. But what I would say is if you normally did a 90-day shipment, do a 60-day shipment for now. That's probably the new norm. Opa says, hi, Steven. Just started a seller account. Immediately, my account was locked. Eventually, I realized I needed a credit card set up with my debit card. How long does it take? Been a week so far. Account suspension scenarios, average time 7 to 10 days. You're probably going to get it back here in the next couple of days. Make sure that your credit card has seen a charge. If it hasn't, ask Amazon to charge it and see if they can verify it. Of all of the account setup suspension issues, the credit card is the slowest to fix, unfortunately. Sorry about that. William says, when doing the trademark process with your company, if for any reason my brand name gets rejected by the USPTO, what would happen in that case? So first of all, we'll waive $500 off your next trademark with us. We're pretty confident. We do research ahead of time. We'll let you know if we think there's a risk. So risk-free from a monetary standpoint. And then the second thing is you'll still get A+ content and brand registry on Amazon for 6 months. So it's almost a no-brainer to file that next trademark for you, even if you're not sure if it's going to go through, because you still get immediate value. And if it doesn't work, you can get a free, close to free next second trademark, $500 off in any case. So head over to myamazonguy.com, go to services, trademark registration, and buy the trademark that you'd like. You'll have brand registry completed in under 7 days with our service. JL says, I have a private label product selling in Mexico and Canada, but I've never sent product to those marketplaces. Does Amazon send my product to those marketplaces themselves, or is it something I should look into? You should look into it. Do the NARF for North American Remote Fulfillment Program at the very least, but if you're selling grocery, they don't allow NARF for that. So you may have to ship it in. Just depends. Canada would be the first one I would check out. You usually can get about 7% additional boost by selling in Canada. But grocery may be a little tricky. There might be some extra policies and loopholes you have to walk through. Also, lower margin, harder to ship across borders, heavier products. Grocery may or may not make sense to go into Canada. M. Weiss, so thanks. I've had a 1-hour conversation with Saban for my Amazon guy to figure out how to reinstate a listing that was removed for weeks. His case got answered yesterday and listing reinstated. Yeah. All right. Here's my applause button. I'm going to click on. All right. Yeah. I love hearing that stuff. We have the best in the world reinstatement team, like bar none, like 10 out of 10. Nobody can beat us on this stuff. We have documented every potential reinstatement problem. Here's proof. Thank you for that testimonial. Really appreciate it. Anfong says, any best practices when to request a review? Week, 2 weeks, a month? Honestly, I've stopped all of my review generation strategies. I think the risk is too high. I think that all of the mechanisms to request reviews have been nerfed. And I also don't think you need product reviews to launch a product. Case in point, Age of Sage. I launched with 1 product review with 7,000 in ad spend, and I got it to the top 10 of skincare sets. It's currently only sitting at 12 product reviews and still doing well. I do not believe product review generation is critical to anybody's success these days. And I also think that everybody's gamed it so badly that consumers looking at a 20,000 review listing Don't even pay attention to it. It's too hacked, too gamed, and all of the rebate keys and review generations and incentivizing reviews, too challenging, too much risk. Product inserts, all of those problems, avoid them. Thomas says, how are we able to add a VA under user permissions without owning a passport? Cannot be done in the UK or any European. In the United States, you can add on though just fine. But without a passport, it's just simply not possible in the EU market, unfortunately. Short answer on that one. Bad news, sorry. DJ, are we allowed to use emojis in product bullet points? Yes, but not all categories. Anything medical, don't even touch them. But in my home and goods, I use them all the time. It is something that can get the listing suppressed or banned, but it's very rarely enforced. And I've never seen it enforced in home and goods. I've seen it enforced one time in sports, and then I've seen it enforced in anything medical, but nothing outside of those categories. Newman says, best strategy to incentivize buyer reviews after refine stage without violating Amazon policies. So I feel like I just quashed this one a little bit. Really no way to incentivize buyer reviews right now. It's a terrible thing. Focus on PPC. Spend more time on PPC, less time on product reviews. Does brand registry, also USPTO registered, ensure that no one can copy your product design or small innovation idea? No, you would need a patent for that. Patents are expensive to enforce, usually $20,000 to enforce patents. I generally don't recommend them unless you have a technology related product or a really, really innovation design. Gilberto says, hello, is it worth to send inventory to Mexico instead of just doing the remote fulfillment program? Not in my opinion, unless you got a really, really good product. Generally speaking, probably won't matter. Currently just selling on US, Canada, and Mexico. So I would say Canada, go first. Try that one out. If that one goes well, maybe Mexico. Check out the search volumes before you make a decision, though. Don't take my word for it. Go look at the Mexican search volumes. If you see high amounts of Spanish, might be worth it. Does keyword stuffing descriptions when using A+ content have any benefit? Big time. I highly recommend it. Use iterations, exact match, synonyms, different pluralizations, iterations of the same words. Highly recommend it. It has a massive impact. Case in point, Age of Sage. We ranked this product for 2,900 keywords in less than 30 days. And we did it by having tons of product copy and A+ content and alt text and all that stuff. So highly recommend it. Adnan says, Hijacker has changed images of my friend's listing, sent him 7 IP infringement complaints. Now Amazon's not letting him edit his listing and rejected his appeal. That freaking sucks. I hate hijackers so much. First of all, does he have a trademark and brand registry? If not, then it's his own fault. If he has brand registry, file tickets to change all the images back, then regain the listing, and then report the hijacker. It's going to be a very painful process, going to take 30 days to resolve, super freaking messy. But if he doesn't have a trademark, then he is almost completely SOL. Newman says, any way to avoid multiple shipment or placement fees for a single product? So if you are using the service to send all of your inventory to the same location, then no, you can't avoid that. But you could turn off that FBA fee by allowing Amazon to send your item to multiple locations. If you're asking about selling 3 quantity of the same product going to the same consumer, you would have to pre-package that to get any discounts on FBA with that. I think we covered Lisa already. I think we're good there. Steven says, love of the content. You're very welcome. Appreciate that, Steven. You have to get into a relationship with the Amazon algorithm, right? So Brady, that is a funny comment based on our guest that we had the other day. We went through the SEO history, and he was a very interesting guest and super smart cat. We had a little bit of audio issues, so apologies about that. But he did make a pretty good case for getting into a romantic relationship with the search algorithm and study it and give it what it wants. That is a true statement. DK says, hi, Stephen. My understanding is that there are templates to choose from for A+ and EBC content. How do you decide which template is best? I go custom 100% of the times. I build whatever assets make sense for our content. I do not use any of Amazon's pre-built mechanisms. I love using the product grid to cross-link to my other products as well. That's the most important module. Make sure you definitely have that one included. Adam says, Hijacker has changed images and sent IP infringement complaints and now can't edit the images. So we already answered that one up above. Again, make sure he's got a trademark, highly important. My item stopped indexing for a main keyword despite having several prominent places, title, description, advertising, getting sales on that keyword. How to fix? Did you use search, find, buy? If you did, that is why it's not indexing. Amazon has penalized you. You are doing all the correct things, but there is potential penalization that might be hurting the system. We're scrolling down here. We're coming to the end here, pretty close. We'll answer the last few questions that are in queue. Patrick says, how many clicks to order do you need to move a keyword over to spend more money on it? And when do you stop if it is outperforming? Clicks versus orders. 20 clicks, 0 orders, that keyword will never convert for you most likely. You got to have at least 1 out of 20 in my opinion. And then I would say to make movement on a keyword, to index for a keyword, 1 order will do the trick. To move up into the top 100, probably need, depends on the category, depends on the impressions available in that particular keyword. But let's say look at average run-of-the-mill 1,000 search volume keyword, probably need about 20 orders to make it to the top 100. And then to break it into the top 10, you might need 100 orders. And Patrick clarified not performing, but I think I got that. So we're good. Jody, thank you very much. You're awesome too. We appreciate you watching. Lisa says, how would you distribute your PPC budget if you do keyword isolation, exact match, broad, and phrase, and no auto? I would say set up with $50 daily budgets on all of them, and then the ones that don't work, lower those down to $10 or $20 a day, and the ones that do, raise to 100, and then use your budget accordingly. Percentage-wise, I would go even split to start, and then change it after 7 days. Opa says, are there any Amazon FBA courses you think are worth the time and money? I want to make sure I have the best chance for a successful start of this journey. Thank you for the content. You're very welcome. I am, I'm in the Gary V camp. I give all my content away for free. I don't charge for anything. So go look at my 650 videos. And then it's really, really difficult to figure out which coursework is the best because everyone has a bias. And some of the Amazon education coursework out there is built by guys like driving Lambos, and they don't actually like have deep product knowledge. They just have like a single product launch and they tell a story. And it can be inspiring. It could be helpful to you, but I wouldn't drop $2,000 on somebody's course. I think that you're better off spending $2,000 on advertising than instead of spending $2,000 on a course, personally. I would say, though, that we have a playlist for beginners that's pretty highly effective. So if you go into our channel, you can see all our playlists. We're now up to 7.93 subscribers. We picked up some while on the call today. Very cool. So in here, we have all kinds of playlists. And I'm looking for my beginner playlist, not seeing it off the top of my head, but there's a ton of them in here. And so if you want to look at our beginner playlist, I would check that one out. I'm a really big fan of my full guide on brand registry. Watch that video if you haven't. Really good video on that one. I will link to, try to save the link there. Let's see if I can click correctly here. View full playlist, copy link address, link on brand registry guide. And then Sierra, if you could track down the beginner playlist and post a link to that too, that'd be great. Ryan says, we have several ASINs that are color design variations. Some are not eligible for NARF or Canada, which others are fine. Makes no sense. Seller support has been no help. The program's in beta. Amazon doesn't care about it. There's nothing you can do about it. Just check it once every 60 days and hope they finally change it because it's a freaking mess right now. Not a whole lot you can do, unfortunately. Thomas says, thanks for your answers. Is there a typical EBITDA multiple range for selling an Amazon business? 3.5 to 4 right now. I'd say closer to 3.5 right now. It was a seller's market in January. Now it's May of 2021, and it's now officially a buyer's market. The aggregators that I've talked to, and I've done a ton of research on Amazon aggregators, FBA acquirers, and their deal flow is so heavy right now that it's impossible for them to get through all of their deals. But if you are interested in selling your business, and I don't think right now is the best time to sell your business, to be totally honest, but if you want to be introduced, I can introduce you to one that I think will be the best fit for you based on my experience, based on what you sell. Go to amazonaggregators.com. We have content on all of these aggregators. We actually had a really good interview with Boosted the other day. So the top 5 aggregators, in my opinion, this is how I rank them: Thrasio, Heyday, Perch, Boosted Commerce, and Join Branded. Check out our aggregators list over here. That doesn't mean that they are the best ones to sell to necessarily. That just means that they're the biggest and most professional. There might be a smaller up-and-coming aggregator that would be a better fit to buy your brand. They'll give you a better bang for the buck. Just depends on what you own and what you're looking for. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and put your information in there, and I will introduce you personally. We'll take 2 more questions here. David says, can you change a listing that has the brand generic to your new brand registry name? Yes, it's very difficult to change brand names, unfortunately. This is why we created a service. We charge $1,000 to change up to 10 ASINs. It's a very, very popular service we have right now because so many different people are struggling to get these changed on their own. It is very difficult work. But if you want to order a brand name change, check us out. I just posted a link here at myamazonguy.com, Amazon brand name change. It's doable. And the last question we're going to take today, Mike says, Steven, what to do with ASINs that have 100 reviews with 4.5 stars, but now it's dead, it's not selling? Revitalize the listing and switch all of the imagery and go heavy on PPC, and you can recover it, Mike. Very, very confident you can recover a listing like that. If you enjoyed today's show, please share your feedback. Add a comment on this video just saying thanks, and tell one other person about our podcasting series. We do this every Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. Now, I do have a baby about to come out of the oven here in the next couple weeks. You will see me disappear for a 2-week time period. My wife will kill me if I come on this podcast show while I'm supposed to be on paternity leave. So you will see me disappear for a week or 2. It'll be the first time I might actually take a pseudo vacation in a couple of years. So I appreciate your patience while I'm away. But I may have some members of my team post some blog posts, some articles at My Amazon Guy, as well as some other videos. In the meantime, check those out. We really appreciate everything that you guys do to support our community. Consider becoming a member. And thank you so much for everything you guys have done. That's our podcast today. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy, a full-service Amazon agency. If you want to check us out, go over to myamazonguy.com and click on Full Service Management. Everything from PPC, SEO, design, and catalog, and subscribe to our channel for all kinds of content on all things Amazon. We'll see you later.